Greetings, fellow pipe smokers. How are you today? As promised, I'm going to do an answer video to your questions. First couple of things, I'm smoking my Blakemore Briars Rhodesian Douglas McGrew with some haunted bookshop in it. And I'm battling some kind of psychotic allergy, eye infestation, something or other. I have no idea what's going on. So if you hear me sniffing and rubbing my eyes and stuff, just forgive me, please. I'm having a hard time. I think my eyes may be something else. I think it may be something else. Anyway, you guys ask questions, a lot of them, quickly. I wrote them down in this little red book because it's handy for writing things down in. I'm going to answer a few of them. I wrote these down in the order that YouTube showed them to me just a few minutes ago. They'll probably last to first. I might not get to all of them in this video because there's some challenging stuff in here, but if I don't, I'll make a part 2 for sure. First off, Francis Barnett says, what practical things have I gleaned from YouTube? Well, that's interesting. Nothing that I use on a regular basis, I don't think, except pipe smoking instructional stuff when I first started that. But some things that I've learned from YouTube that I have put to use very effectively. Was origami with dollar bills. Made some cool things with that. Learned how to tie a tie, which I never had a tie before. I needed one, so I significantly upgraded my omelet making skills from watching YouTube videos, developing my own little way of doing it based on a few different videos. And enjoy the results of that venture very much. I think I make a pretty good omelet now. There was something else that I was going to mention, and I've forgotten what it was. Anyway, if I remember it, I'll revisit it. But those are probably the omelets and the pipe skills are what really stands out to me. Thanks for your question. Ghost Cobb's got a couple of questions, and I wrote these down in paraphrased format, so if it's not exactly what people said, forgive me, but the main theme is there. Ghost Cobb wants to know if I could sit down with any president, living, dead, whatever. Who would it be and what would I want to talk about? I happen to believe that you could pick any president and I could sit down and talk with them and enjoy the conversation. Some more than others, but there's something that every president did or believed or tried to do or something like that that I would like to talk about. Several of them I've read fairly extensively, so I feel like I already kind of know what they would say about certain things. I have my favorite presidents, of course. Everybody does. I have my least favorite. But I think if I could sit down and talk to any one president, what would I talk about? It would probably be one of the first three. And I would ask him each different things, but I think Thomas Jefferson would be the most interesting for me. And what I would want to talk to him about is, what were they thinking? What kind of things were they wary of? I've read a bunch of this stuff, but I would like to get his perspective based on how history went, how we've come. Did they envision this or that, and how they thought, following generations might best deal with it? I would love to know his take on where we're at right now and what we can do to right the ship, so to speak. I would love to hear his opinion of how Marbury versus Madison has affected history. So that's some of the things. And some of my favorites are some of the ones that I would really like to just sit and chat with about, just stuff, not anything specific. That would have to be Reagan. Probably definitely like to talk to Lincoln. Some other ones, I think I would really like to sit and talk with Calvin Coolidge. I think I would really enjoy sitting down and talking with Ike. I would probably have a heated discussion with a few of them. Wilson, FDR, Johnson. So anyway, that's a good question. That one's deep. I could go into all, every presidency and come up with things to talk about for hours, but those are kind of the highlights. Simon. Oh, sorry. Ghost Cop had a follow-up question. If I could sit down with Devil Anse Hatfield, what pipe would I take and what tobacco? This is probably going to disappoint you, but I know nothing at all about Devil Anse Hatfield. I know who he is, but not much beyond that. So I honestly have no idea. I'd probably take a corncob pipe. Because he just seems like a regular old guy. And I'd probably take something like, Old Joe Krantz or something along those lines. Some hearty, old-time feeling tobacco. I don't know. Sorry, I don't have a better answer for that, but you caught me on an area that I really don't know anything about. Simon. That was not expected. That 10 just popped for some reason. It'll probably do it again now that I pushed it down. Simon says something along the lines of, out of the billions of people in the U.S., I think that was just a typo. He meant millions, I believe. So we haven't quite hit a billion yet. Out of the millions of people in the U.S., why were we only able to come up with Trump and Hillary as the front runners in the last election? Well, there's, my opinion, but the easy answer is, out of the millions of people in the United States, Most of us have not a clue what's going on in politics and what's important and what's not important. Most people have no clue about civics and history and what they need to know, and they just vote based on what they've always voted on, party lines. They don't think. So that's one answer. Add to that, about 10 years ago, something started in the United States that I think is going to end up being a negative. And that's the age of populism in politics. It's no more than a who's who contest at the moment. You know, most popular in the fifth grade class, so to speak. People aren't interested in taking a chance. Voters aren't interested in taking a chance and trying to go down a path that will lead to the best outcome. They're interested in picking a winner. One side believes this person has the best chance to win. One side believes this side person has the best chance to win. And they want to be on that train. They want to be on the bandwagon that waves the flags. Another reason is the best and brightest, the people that are probably most fit to lead a country are in the private sector. They're not in politics. They never run for office. You have very few people that step out of the private sector anymore and with good ideas and good plans that can get any kind of foothold in politics. That's my thought on that without going too deep into it. Northeast Piper UK. I always want to say Pipe Smoker UK. Northeast Piper UK. It says, my house is burning down. What pipe and tobacco do I save? I'm going to take the easy way out here. I'm just going to grab my box in there because it's got everything in it. I don't have to choose. But if I did have to choose, Joe Davis made me a pipe, Jad's Pipes. And I've got a couple of nice pipes. That's one of them. But that one is personal to me. It's nobody else has a pipe like that. Nobody ever will. It's unique. It was I purchased the pipe, but I call it a gift from a friend. And I really believe that. And that one is special to me more than any of my other pipes. As far as tobacco, I would probably grab the biggest bag, which at the moment would probably be this haunted bookshop that I'm smoking. I'm going to skip over to Wharf Valley Boy because he's got a relatively short question, and I'm going to have to make a part 2 for these other ones because I think I might get long-winded on those. Tim says, knowing I like chess, do I follow any of the top players or tournaments, and if so, who are my favorites? You know, when I was growing up and getting into chess and really learning it, the only access to chess outside my home basically that I had was, I believe it was Chess Life magazine, and there's only so much you can get out of that. You can't really follow what you want, or you get what they show you kind of thing. That was like 30 years ago. Now, having really only gotten back into it in the last month, other than just sporadically, I'm watching a bunch of stuff on YouTube that I'm really enjoying. There's 2 or 3 channels out there that show a lot of stuff. They show a lot of tournament footage and a lot of analysis and things like that. I can't say that I really follow tournaments. I see games from different tournaments and see who wins tournaments and things like that. But as far as following a specific player currently, no. Historically, yes. I have quite a few favorite players, and they're all the ones you would expect, I think. You know, Tal, Capablanca, Morphe, Alakine. Then a little later, little Spassky-Fischer rivalry was pretty cool. Karpov and Kasparov. Magnus Carlsen's fun to watch. Current. But I think my favorite 2 would probably be Morphe and Tal. I just really enjoyed the games that I've sat and watched and studied by them. Just really, really cool. And also some guy named Wharf Valley Boy, lives in Great Britain. He's definitely given me a run for my money across the chessboard. I have yet to beat him. We've only played a couple of games. I'm 0-1-1 against him. He plays very well positionally. He sets up some positions that are just very difficult to maneuver around the board in. At my level, anyway. Anyway, I think I'm going to cut this one off here. And I will make a part 2. There's 4 more people that have asked questions that I want to get to. If you want to ask a question that will be answered in a following video, please do so. In this comments here, if you have rebuttals to anything I've said, comment. You want me to speak to something that you say, feel free to do that. If you think I'm wrong, tell me. I'll talk about that. Whatever. Just let me know if you want to reply. Otherwise, keep the questions coming and I'll keep these videos coming. I enjoy this. So until part 2, or until the next one, because there's probably no end to this, take care.